in the 10th National Assembly continues to gain momentum. On the interview segment, we focus on the Election Tribunal and what its decisions could hold for the country's democracy. A lawyer, writer, and member of the All Progressives Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council, Jason Onokpasa, as our guest. Welcome to Politics Tonight. Stay with us. We will be right back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now let's bring you some stories. The Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has described reports of an alleged $2.4 billion crude oil theft as baseless and lacking in merit. The minister spoke when he appeared before the ad hoc committee probing alleged loss of over $2.4 billion in revenue from illegal sale of 48 million barrels of crude export in 2015. National Assembly correspondent Adisa reports.
Crude cargo.
After several invitations, the minister, accompanied by the permanent secretary, is before the legislators. Abubakar Malami apologizes for his inability to honor the committee's invitations and reaffirms his respect for the parliament.
First, let me express my sincere apology, multiple apologies for that matter. First, on account of my inability to be here earlier.
A one-page document is passed to him for his eyes only, and after going through it in silence, says he will not agree to a closed-door meeting.
I'm here for open engagement for the Nigerians to see. I am here on behalf of Nigerians, and I want Nigerians to share in what we are doing for the purpose of transparency and accountability of it.
We are not asking for closure.
I know very well. That is why I'm asking who are they.
Came in,
yes.
And we feel in the interest of both parties, justice, okay, and protect the institution of the National Assembly, and that was the government of the Federation of Nigeria.
That settled, he provides responses to the numerous questions posed to him in the course of the committee's correspondences to his office. The minister describes the petitioners as a syndicate poised to defraud the nation. He therefore believes the committee should not waste its time on the probe.
A prima facie case of fraud. So this time around, it is not about the recovery of the product, but the fact that these people in contention were fraudulent. They simply were trying to establish a case against the federal government to extort the federal government.
He also insists his office is not in charge of recoveries, but the Minister of Finance, and that all recovered funds are deposited in an assets recovery account domiciled in the Central Bank of Nigeria. The committee seeks guidance in the provision of Section 162 of the Constitution, which states that all government revenues shall be deposited in the Federation account.
Asset recovery account. Because we are assuming on this part, before we conclude, we still want a guide from you, that part of what is causing the misinformation is because maybe the process or the procedure, we have been contravening them.
Yeah. Where you find a breach is if the monies are utilized from the account without recourse to appropriation, without being deposited into the Federation account. And at the end of the day, it's about transparency.
After speaking for more than 1 hour, the committee halts its flow, demanding that its memorandum be made available to be digested for further interrogations. The committee says it has over 700 questions for the minister. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami still has a date with this committee, and he has promised to make himself available anytime he is needed with necessary information that will assist the committee in the discharge of its assignments. TVC News, Abuja.
Ahead of the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly in June, the race to occupy principal offices in the legislative arm of government has continued to gain momentum. Lawmakers-elect and those returning for another term in office have continued to put themselves up for the vacant positions before commencement of legislative business. The latest to join the League of Contestants is Abdurrahim Olawuhi, who says he has what it takes to become Speaker of the House of Representatives in the 10th National Assembly. He stated that if given the opportunity to lead the 360 members of the House of Representatives, Nigeria will witness massive growth and a seamless relationship among the arms of government. Let's listen to Honorable Lawi. All right. Executive members of the All Progressives Congress APC across the 11 local government areas of Gombe State have reaffirmed their loyalty to the leadership of Governor Inuwa Yahaya at a meeting held in Yola to review the party's performance at the just concluded general election. They also endorsed the expulsion of a former governor of the state, Senator Danjuma Goje, from the party. Details in this report. Now let's bring you more stories. Preparations are in top gear for the visit of President-elect Asiwaju Bola Tinubu to Rivers State for the inauguration of some projects of the Governor Jason Wike administration. Governor Wike confirmed the visit during an inspection of the newly completed projects in the capital city, Port Harcourt. Senior reporter Uche Okoro has more.
Asiwaju Bola Tinubu got the hint of his return to Rivers State during this courtesy visit to the government house in Port Harcourt when he came for the APC presidential campaign rally 2 months ago. The president-elect is scheduled to inaugurate what Governor Wike describes as landmark projects via the Rumuola-Rumuokuta flyover and a new magistrate court building. The governor, who led an inspection of both projects, said they would be ready in the first week of May 2023.
Like we promised, we are not going to abandon any of the projects we have started, but to God be the glory. We're expecting the president-elect on the 3rd and 4th to commission the 12th flyover and the magistrate court. You can see the magistrate court buildings, how amazing it is too, and we commend the contractor too who have done this job. And quite on time. I don't think I find this anywhere in this part of the country.
This is the 12th flyover built by the Rivers State government since 2019. As Governor Wike prepares to bow out of office, he said this is another evidence that his administration has done well for the people.
These 2 very important projects are ready. And Rivers people will of course attest to the fact that we have given our best, and we thank God glory that it has turned out this way, but very, very excellently, very, very, very well. We can say and beat our chest, we can go home satisfied that we have not disappointed our people.
Other projects that will be inaugurated soon include the 2nd Police Intelligence Center and the remodeled Professor Kesley Harrison and the dental and maxillofacial hospitals. Uche Okoro, TVC News, Port Harcourt.
Ahead of the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly in June, the race to occupy principal offices in the legislative arm of government has continued to gauge themselves up for the vacant positions before commencement of legislative business. The latest to join the League of Contestants is Abdurrahim Olawi, who says he has what it takes to become Speaker of the House of Representatives in the 10th National Assembly. He stated that if given the opportunity to lead the 360 members of the House of Reps, Nigeria will witness massive growth and a seamless relationship among the arms of government.
I think I am eminently qualified to lead the House, because of my experience, my connection in the House, and when I mean connection is my level of interaction and the friendship I've made in the last 4.5 years in the House. I know how the House works, and I've seen a lot of area where I can improve the standard of our legislation at National Assembly. I think I am eminently qualified to...
Executive members of the All Progressives Congress APC across the 11 local government areas of Gombe State have reaffirmed their loyalty to the leadership of Governor Inuwa Yahaya at a meeting held in Yola to review the party's performance at the just concluded general election. They also endorsed the expulsion of a former governor of the state, Senator Danjuma Goje, from the party. Details on this report.
Of the All Progressive Congress in Gombe local government have gathered here to affirm their loyalty and support the leadership of the state governor in Wike. They also endorsed the expulsion of the former governor and serving Senator Danjuma Goje from their party. This same endorsement and affirmation is being done across all the 11 local governments of Gombe State by the All Progressive Congress at the local government level.
We express serious concern over charges of grave misconduct and anti-party activities against some party members and officials in Gombe State.
6 months of grueling campaigns followed by a keenly contested election. The All Progressive Congress is assessing the actions of its members during the period. Party officials from all 11 local government areas of Gombe State are aligning with executives of the Kashere ward over their decision to expel former Governor Danjuma Goje from the party. They insist that the party is supreme and bigger than any individual.
Support and endorse completely and without any reservation the decision of the APC Kashere ward Executive Committee to expel Senator Muhammadu Danjuma Goje for his shameful and unpardonable conduct of anti-party activities.
We have already said the committee. From what we heard, they have sent him several invitations for him to appear before the committee. So he refused to appear almost on all the occasions that he was invited. So for that, the party was left with no option but to take drastic measure in taking their decision, even in his absence.
The APC officials also reaffirmed their loyalty to Governor Inwayaya as the undisputed leader of the party in Gombe State.
Alhaji Muhammadu Inwayaya will lead and will move off to the APC up to the higher level. We don't have any doubt on it.
The APC in Gombe State says these actions are necessary house-cleaning process to enforce party supremacy and consolidate its political dominance. Landry Adeyemi, TVC News, Gombe.
Members of a civil society group on good governance is calling on the incoming administration to deliberately institutionalize equity, fairness and justice. They called on the president-elect to appoint a Southern Borno indigene as a federal minister to ensure balance, inclusion and participation. Helen Osamide Akins has details. All right, so let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to speak with our guest of the day, Jason Onokpasa, a lawyer, writer, and member of the All Progressives Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council, to discuss the electoral petitions. Thank you for joining us.
It's always a great morning on the TVC Breakfast Show.
Thanks for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
With the array of stories that matter and what's behind them.
As you say, the first blow indicates the direction of government.
Tell us what really is going on between your union and the federal government.
Once it's generated, you have
don't use it, it's waste. We are not even sure whether we have a strategy for security.
Are you saying that there was nothing wrong in that?
Was he the one driving the taxi?
Answer the question.
Refill your morning with all you need to know.
Like
yes, just mundane lyrics.
Yes.
How does that fit into your scheme of events or duties right now?
No chief of staff, no general has the right to call a governor to order. The governor has been elected by his people.
Start your day right, because this is the breakfast show that adds to your breakfast. TVC Breakfast, weekdays at 7 a.m. only on TVC News.
Welcome back. You're still watching Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. And now to our interview with the guest of the day. I am joined by a lawyer, writer, and member of the All Progressives Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council, Jason Onokpasa, for discussion on electoral petition. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, sir.
It's my pleasure, Jumake.
The legal fireworks at the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal have begun. How will you describe the proceedings so far?
Well, it is proceeding just as all cases proceed. Let's wait for the court to decide. That's what I'll say. But personally, I do not even believe that there is really a case as such in court. And the reason for that is there is a way lawyers approach filing a case in court. And when you file a case in court, you don't file a case in the morning and you start insulting the court in the evening. You know, so if you, as far as I'm concerned, what has been going on thus far is a situation where the people who claim, I mean, I don't even know where they got that ridiculous idea from, that their mandate was stolen, and they filed a case in court. I've been trying to intimidate the judiciary into giving them a mandate that belongs to Bola Tinubu. So, as far as I'm concerned, there's really no case in court. I don't know what these guys are doing in court, seriously. I don't know what the hell Atiku is doing in court. I don't know what the hell Peter Obi is doing in court. I can even understand, it makes better sense for me what Atiku is doing. Atiku, according to his former boss, President Olusegun Obasanjo, he relies on marabouts for decisions he takes. Maybe they've told him, they've assured him that this is his time. Well, it's obviously not his time. So, well, let us see what will happen there. As for Peter Obi, he clearly has no mandate to claim from Asiwaju. If Peter Obi even has a mandate to claim, he has a mandate to claim from Atiku Abubakar. They should have sorted themselves out. That's their headache. If they had come together, maybe they could have defeated us. But from our perspective, at our campaign council, all we needed was for Peter Obi to be on one side and for Atiku to be on one side, and we knew we would defeat them anytime, any day. They just had to be divided. It's as simple as that, you know. And then we just had to keep ourselves together. So when Obi goes around saying he has a stolen man, I don't even understand where he is coming from, because the only mandate he could possibly have is that 6.8 million votes or 6.9 million votes that Atiku took from him. And you see, this thing about, let me reiterate what I said last time. This election is very simple to understand. Let nobody fool anybody, please, for God's sake. We have to run. These are about votes. They are about numbers. It's maths. You look at the numbers that were forthcoming from the votes. So you have 23, 24, 25 million votes. Well, then you look what votes were garnered by the ruling party. What votes ended up with in the kitty of the opposition. From that perspective alone, which is the only legitimate perspective, because that's how elections are. Elections are, you have a ruling party, for God's sake. You want to claim power from that party. All of you trying to claim power from that party constitutes something called the opposition. That party is now on the other side. It's a ruling party. So once an election is held, you count the votes that the ruling party has garnered, you count the votes that the opposition has garnered. Collectively, they have almost 50 million votes. We have even less than 9 million votes. Do you know how we have less than 9 million votes, Jumoke? It is because there's no way someone like Bola Tinubu will run an election and have 9 million votes in Nigeria. It's not possible. We are the ones that are supposed to be suspicious of this election. We are the ones that are supposed to be complaining. We are the ones that are supposed to be complaining of rigging. Not these charlatans who wasted all their votes. Now, they are trying these people don't have any case in court, trust me. I'm a lawyer, for God's sake. Which case? What is the case? Have you read their processes? Read through everything they filed. What is disclosed there?
For the sake of this interview, I would kindly urge you not to use derogatory words while submitting your remarks. Thank you. You can go on.
I have not used any word, Jumoke, that is even slightly as unacceptable as the words that one fellow called Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed used against the president-elect.
Mr. Onokpasa, please, let's stay on course. You know, for the sake of this interview tonight, you and I, or rather, you're going to be helping me take these petitions one after the other, and how feasible are they? Now, the APC has defended Tinubu's victory and wants the tribunal to dismiss the petitions by opposition. How feasible is this?
Well, like I said, I'm not going to usurp the authority of the courts the same way Peter Obi and his running mate Dati Baba Ahmed and even Atiku Abubakar and his minions have been trying to do. The courts are there for a reason. We must all respect the courts. We must all subscribe to the authority of the courts. Now, these petitions, as far as I'm concerned, they are complete jokes because nothing is disclosed in there. If you say somebody rigged the election and then what you have is a total of 14-15 million votes, what the person has is 8 to 9 million votes, it is going to be very, very difficult to convince any lawyer in this world who knows his onions that it is the person with 9 million votes that rigged the people with 15 million votes. Because that's not how elections are rigged in this country. We all know how elections are rigged. Former President Obasanjo is the chief, with respect, the chief, historically the chief election rigger in this country. His elections are judged to be by far the worst. And he never ended up with an election where he got a lower vote than the opposition. You know, so I would go that far without going into the nitty-gritty of the petition. If it's a question, I might also comment on one or two other things which I feel are completely ridiculous. In something about a forfeiture case in America. Now, when I saw that in the petition, I was completely perplexed. You see this case that these people are saying Bola Tinubu forfeited something. I can assure you today, Jumboke, Bola Tinubu did not forfeit one kobo. He has never forfeited one kobo in his life. You see, the way lawyers reason is very, very different. Now we have certain procedures we call actions in rem. We have others we call actions in persona. That particular case that is cited in this petition, and it is already a decided case in America. So I don't know how someone expects a Nigerian court to assume jurisdiction over a matter decided 3 decades ago in America. It's just bizarre to me as a lawyer. Now, in that case, The money that was in that account, it belonged to an individual called K.O. Tinubu. It did not belong to an individual called Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And at the conclusion of that action in Ren, Bola Tinubu was not even a party to that case. In fact, it was technically, if you want to put a person in the case, it's a case between the American government and K.O. Tinubu. The money in the account, even the residue, what was remaining in the account, was ordered by the court to be paid not to Bola Tinubu, but to K.O. Tinubu. So
Mr. Onokpasa, this particular issue, is this even a matter the tribunal can entertain?
Absolutely. Well, for me, no. Absolutely not. One, is statute barred. Two, the court lacks jurisdiction. It is a decided matter in another jurisdiction. So it's a complete non-issue.
So, you know, the APC defended Tinubu's victory, saying alleged infractions not substantial enough to nullify the exercise. What's your view on this?
Which infractions? When you even say infractions, do you know the place in which this election was most illegally conducted? It was the place where Peter Obi kept coming up with all kinds of funny numbers. 90%, 80-something%, 90-something%. There was no voting in the Southeast. Our supporters, in fact, it was as if they were about to lynch them in the entire Southeast. And we have a lot of supporters in the Southeast. Let nobody think that Bola Tinubu does not have supporters in the Southeast. We have a good number of supporters in the Southeast. They did not even allow them to vote. If you want to even go forensically, let's even check these results, for God's sake. You will find that the greatest malpractice in this election was conducted in the Southeast. Who does not know that? So what is the meaning of substantial compliance? Just, Jumoke, look at the numbers. How can you say an election in which the opposition got 14 million votes, that there was no substantial compliance? What sort of logic is that?
Well, I mean, INEC has also defended APC's victory. INEC has also defended APC's victory that the presidential election was conducted in substantial compliance with the Electoral Act 2022. But the opposition continues to say INEC should not have done that. How will you react to this?
INEC should have broken the law. Do you know how elections are won, Jumoke? You see, if there are two people running, one person now gets 50% plus just one vote. One vote, that's all he needs. If he can get 50% of the votes, then one other person, additional person votes for him, he has won the election. Now, when you have a multiplicity of candidates, it is the person with the highest number of votes. It's as simple as that. So here you have a thinking, a reasoning opposition. They come together. They now attain critical mass. That is still not enough. They now hope for the ruling party to lose critical mass. Do you know what I would like you to do for me, Jumoke? I would like you to call Professor Patutomi and tell him that his younger brother from Delta State, Jason Onokpasa, he's saying that, let him just answer one question for you. Whether an opposition can defeat a ruling party if that opposition has not attained critical mass, and if the ruling party has not lost critical mass. That's all. I know Patutomi, he said, forget this on the other side apart from me. He's a man of honor. Just ask him that question. Call him up and ask him. if an opposition can ever defeat a ruling party, if that opposition has not attained critical mass, critical, just remember to use that word, and if the ruling party has not lost critical mass, let me even shock you. I'm going to say something which some of my party members will find to be pretty controversial, but it's the truth. I didn't come here to lie. I am supporting Bola Tinubu with all sense of honor, with God as my witness, that he won this election. There was no way they could defeat us. They were apart. It's as simple as that, my sister. They had to come together to be able to defeat us. They did not. Now, do you know how we won the election in the federal level, Jumoke? It is the same way. My party, for instance, how we lost election in, say, Delta State. In Delta State, my home state, our party, for as far as I'm concerned, we lost the election. And we lost the election because we failed to attain critical mass. And PDP, they failed to lose critical mass. That's exactly what Achiwaju did for us at national level. He held all of us together. Do you know why?
Now, Mr. Onokpasa, one key aspect of the election was uploading of results.
I need to explain this to you. How Bola Tinubu won this election. Please, just give me a few seconds. Now, we did not lose critical mass. How our votes were even 8.8 million. It is because of our party, our own party. It's not because of PDP. What can PDP do to us? What can Obi and his obedience do to us? Our party members were basically, I would say, if I have to use our parents in Delta State, they were practicing witchcraft against us. They, with false scarcity and Naira redesign alone, that is how we lost votes to that extent. So when you look at our votes and analyze it critically, those are our base. That is Bola Tinubu's base. That is APC's base. Those people must vote for Bola Tinubu no matter what. Those people must vote for APC no matter what. They are diehards like us. They will come out and vote. So what even depressed our votes is nothing that Atiku threw at us. It's nothing that Obi threw at us. It's even our party members who were in bed with them, conspiring with them against us. And that gives you a very, very interesting dimension to Bola Tinubu's victory. How does a person still win an election with all these shenanigans against him? Well, I'm a person of faith. As far as I'm concerned, God wanted this man to be our president. And that,
Now, we need to move on, Mr. Onokpasa. Another aspect of the petition is alleged unlawful nomination of the APC vice presidential candidate, Senator Kashim Shettima. Do you see this as part of the jurisdiction of the Election Petitions Tribunal or otherwise?
There's no, our vice presidential candidate was not illegally nominated. He did not contest 2 elections. He did not contest 2 elections. He contested only 1 election. He contested as vice president. So that is all I will say about that. There's no such thing as double. What is the meaning of double nomination? If I'm already nominated as a senator, and then somebody wants to make me his running mate, what is the person supposed to do? The person says, come and be my vice presidential candidate, my running mate. Then I drop the former nomination. Then I hold on to this one. What else happened? That's a non-issue, please. These people have no case. That's why they are bringing all these shenanigans. I say it is a complete non-issue. So let's
Some Nigerians have called for live transmission of the proceedings at the tribunal. I would like to know your position on this.
The High Court operates is according to law and at the discretion of the court. If their lordships are willing, well, I'm not going to say there should be no. Who is afraid of anything? We are not afraid. We won election, Jumoke, hands down. We know our onions. We know how to win election. These people don't know, they don't have even a campaign team. What is their campaign team? Is it Aisha Yesufu? Is it Shimamanda Adichie? Is it OBS? These people are not politicians. Is it Kenneth Okonkwo? Is it Charlie Boy Okuta? These are the people that will defeat who? Bola Tinubu's team. We are hardcore. We know how to win elections. So nobody's afraid of broadcasting.
Mr. Onokpasa, would you like to see a live transmission of these proceedings?
I'm not going to dictate to the court. If the court decides that it's going to transmit it live, so be it. In fact, it is Peter Obi and Atiku who will end up being embarrassed at the end of the day, not Asiwaju Tinubu, because we have won this. These people are very funny, Jumoke. The Bola Tinubu you could not stop at primaries. The Bola Tinubu you could not stop at election. He has already won the election. This is how you are going to stop him. You are just wasting your time. He is your president. Case closed. These people are just, only God knows what the hell they are really up to. I feel personally that, like I've said in the past, I feel that Peter Obi he's stuck with his obedience. You know, for his own, even his own personal, and I understand it to some extent, you know. Yes, how do you own up that you didn't win an election, which is clear you did not win? That's his problem. I would personally advise him to explain to them, because do you know how Peter Obi lost this election? It is when we were doing our own permutations, we were more worried about Atiku Abubakar stepping down for Peter Obi than Peter Obi stepping down for Atiku Abubakar. That's how we are professionals in this matter. These guys are non-starters. You know? So, we felt that if
will continue after this break. Please stay with us. Thank you very much for staying with us. You're still watching Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. And I have with me a lawyer, writer, and member of the All Progressives Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council, Jason Onokpasa, for discussion on election petition, as all eyes are now on the judiciary. Mr. Onokpasa, now, some lawyers have also called for conclusion of cases at the tribunal before swearing in on May 29. How practicable is this?
I don't know this kind of lawyers you are talking. I don't know the kind of lawyers you are talking about. But any serious lawyer would not say that a case should be. In fact, this thing is funny. Don't we know how cases? There is a timeline for these things. Now, it doesn't mean that the court must exhaust the timeline, but you cannot stampede a court. This is why all these shenanigans are so suspicious. These people know they did not win election. Only Onokpasa SAN, he knows his brother Peter Obi did not win election. How can someone of Leonard Sick Onokpasa's knowledge, experience, be pretending that Peter Obi won which election with an article there? How could he have won? He could not possibly win. So when he says conclude what? You are going to stampede the court. You are in Leonard Sick, for God's sake. So, broadcast on TV, timeline, I don't care. Bola Tinubu won election, he's our next president. Let's all come together and support him for the good of this country. This hatred is really, really... Look, the person who made Peter Obi to lose election is a certain man called Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Now, for me personally, I can't even stand Peter Obi. I don't like him. That's me. That's my right. But do you know the truth? I will give him his due. It was not for Peter Obi to step down for Atiku Abubakar. Why? Why should it be Peter Obi to step down for him? It is for Atiku to step down for Peter Obi. Because the presidency was supposed to come to the south. How can Atiku take the turn of the north, then he loses, then he will still insist on taking the turn of the south? Who are you? Are you the owner of the country? You are, you see, we live by grace. We live by grace. By grace we live. If something is not in your star, there's nothing you can do about it. It's clear that being a president of Nigeria is not in Atiku's star. It might be in Obi's star, I don't know.
Now, the issue of election disputation has, become a recurring element in our nation's electoral process. And at the moment, there are a lot of pressure on the judiciary at this time, especially from the camp of the Labour Party. As a lawyer, how will you react to this?
Please come again. Come again.
There are a lot of pressure on the judiciary at this time, especially from the camp of the Labour Party. As a lawyer, how will you react to this?
The pressure is a waste of time. Let me tell you something about lawyers, Jumoke, that most non-lawyers don't realize. You see, when you go and read law, when you study law, it does something to your psyche. Lawyers are not cowards. We are not cowards. We are not afraid of other people. There is something it does to you subconsciously. When you see your fellow man, he's somebody you can render assistance to. You take a good look at him, you feel, this is somebody I can prevent from going to jail. This is somebody I can send to jail. So all these people mounting pressure on judges, they are wasting their time. Judges are lawyers. If Peter Obi and his crew, they say they don't give shishi, well, in my own profession, these lawyers don't look at, if I have to use a PG parlance, will not they look face. So nobody is intimidating any court. The court will do justice according to law. In fact, these sort of things, it is a completely wrong strategy. It is so irritating. You have filed a case in court. Wait for the court to give you judgment. Shimamanda comes, she does an interview. The next thing she says, she doesn't trust the court. You don't trust. Why did you go to court if you don't trust the court? What an insult! Even Olisa Bagova says he does not trust the court. Can you imagine? So we don't care. Let the judges and lawyers. They will do justice according to law. These things are very, very bad. Because the way you build a country up is to look at the bigger picture. It's not because you have a case in court. You know how you lost the election, Peter Obi. There's just no way you could have won. There's no way to do the maths. Is it that people would not have voted for Bola Tinubu before? Is it... Excuse me, Jumoke, is it even imaginable, is it conceivable that Bola Tinubu will be running an election and people will not vote for him? There must be some people to vote for him. So you subtract that from the other available votes. That is what else is available is what you now struggle for. Then they divided these votes among themselves. That's how we won. All we needed to do, our entire strategy in our campaign council is let's just keep these people, all of them in the race. It's as simple as that. We will win. We must defeat them. Our fear was for them to come together to use our own formula, the formula we used to defeat Goodluck Jonathan in 2015. Our fear was that the opposition would use it this time to defeat us. They failed. Bola Tinubu kept it together. That's it. He won this election, Jumoke. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Bola Tinubu won the election. In fact, if there's any controversies, how come he won with just 8.8 million votes? Our vote should be above 10 million. We should be talking of 12 million votes.
We still have a lot to talk about this evening. Please allow me. Now, many candidates have gone to court to challenge the outcome of the 2023 election. But with Beavers, why are outcomes subjected to widespread litigations?
Because of the bad character of Nigerians. That is it. Because Nigerians, they refuse to accept defeat. I just told you that personally, we lost our election in Delta. That's my own belief. And we lost it the same way Peter Obi and I think we lost their election at the federal level. We failed to attain critical mass in Delta. We retained critical mass at the federal level. The opposition failed to attain critical mass at the federal level. PDP retained critical mass in Delta. It's like these things, if you understand politics, they are so clear, crystal clear. It's not to be making noise on social media. We are politicians, for God's sake. We understand how these things work. So the Beavers is in fact a miracle of electoral probity, if I will put it that way. Because if not for Beavers, Jumoke, it is not even conceivable, it is not imaginable that an opposition would, at the end of the day, be able to amass 14-15 million votes, where there is a ruling party. The Beavers worked. They say IREF did not work. The IREF that did not work still gave you 14 million votes. You wanted it to work. Maybe if it had worked, you would have seen just 5 million votes there. What are you complaining about? You lost election. You failed to come together. That's how you lost. Leave Nigerians alone to rally around their new president. We have 200 million people to take care of, for God's sake. Do you know this thing? Even this, all these questions you are asking me, with respect, Jumoke, I don't really appreciate them. Seriously, what we should be talking about at this time is what Bola Tinubu is coming to do for Nigerians. That is what we should be talking about. What Bola Tinubu has in store for Nigerians. And Bola Tinubu is going to change this country. This man is president because God has finally come to rescue Nigeria. God works in mysterious ways. God is not a respecter of anybody.
All right, Mr. Onokpasa, you would agree with me that, yes, you're quite emotional, but then these are issues that need to be discussed whether we like it or not. So,
I am.
All right, now, before we go, let me have your take on this. You know, citizens' trust in the electoral process is vital in any democracy. What do you think can be done to restore this?
Why do you feel that citizens' trust has been lost in the electoral process? Because Chimamanda complained that she doesn't like the election. Is Chimamanda the only citizen of Nigeria? Am I not a citizen of Nigeria? Chimamanda is not my mate. I'm a citizen like her. If some people, funny people who are pretending not to know how Peter Obi lost the election, claim that the election is not free and fair, what is my business with that? This thing, excuse me, let us be forthright. This thing is pure tribalism. It is because Bola Tinubu is a Yoruba man. That is it. Some people just have a problem. Oh, they have an axe to grind with Yoruba people. It is not a Yoruba man that prevented Peter Obi from being president. It is a man called Atiku Abubakar. And Atiku Abubakar is Peter Obi's oga. Is his master. Peter Obi, even while running primaries in PDP, after declaring for the presidential ticket of PDP, he still went to attend Atiku Abubakar's declaration. That is the level of loyalty he had for Atiku Abubakar. Why did Atiku Abubakar not step down for Atiku Abubakar and step down for Peter Obi? But trust me, in our campaign council,
I wish we had enough time to continue this conversation, but sadly time is against us. I must say a very thank you to you. It is always a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you very much, Mr. Onokpasa. I wish we had enough time to this, but of course we will continue this conversation. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Mr. Jason Onokpasa.
It's okay. Thank you, Jumoke.
Member of the All Progressives Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. Goodbye.
Oh, I wish you were here.
I'm always with you.
But it's not the same without you.
MTN 5G's amazing technology will change how we experience life and the internet. Get ready to encounter the incredible, and remember, no be juju, na MTN 5G.
Itchy, greasy, and smelly braids can be a thing of the past. Introducing the new Ruba braids from Expression. Made with 100% Aquatex fiber from Canicolon. The new Ruba braids from Expression is extremely fast drying and perfect for friction-free washing. Stay dry this season with the new Ruba braids from Expression, now available in pre-stretch and regular braid variants and in beauty shops near you.
As they count down to the inauguration of President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu as Nigeria's 16th president continues, more and more world leaders are showing solidarity with him in recognition of his well-deserved win. Now, Ukraine, France, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Cuba, Nicaragua, Namibia, and a host of others have already sent in their congratulatory messages. The ECOWAS Parliament and other ECOWAS bodies, the D8, that is, the Developing Aid Organizations for Economic Cooperation, the African Union, are among organizations that have recognized Bola Tinubu's impressive win in the presidential election held on the 25th of February, 2023.
The United States congratulates the people of Nigeria, President-elect Tinubu, and all political leaders following the declaration by Nigeria's Independent National Electoral Commission, or INEC, on the results of the February 25th presidential election. This competitive election represents a new period for Nigerian politics and democracy. Each of the top 3 candidates was the leading vote-getter in 12 states, a remarkable first in Nigeria's modern political era, reflecting the diversity of views that characterize the campaign and the wishes of Nigeria's voters.
Namibia also looks forward to a good working relationship with the incoming government of President-elect His Excellency Asiwaju Bola